Hey viewers, my name's Cara. I'm your host for Tuesdays here on the Pagan Perspective, and this week we're answering a question that actually came from me, and it's about whether we have any apps and other technological things, I suppose, that are related to our path. I thought of this question months ago when I was using some different types of apps that were related to my path, and I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. I wonder if anybody else has any different things. So now, months later, there are some apps that I still have, and there are a lot of apps that I have deleted because I got bored with them, or I tested them out, I realized I didn't like them. So I've gone through a lot more apps related to my path than what I'm going to talk about today. I'm only going to really talk about 6 or so. I used to have apps for health-related things I consider that part of my practice. Taking care of myself is definitely a part of that. I used to have apps that were to help me track drinking water and meditating, and I had one that was like a whole routine. Like you could set up your whole morning routine for things that you wanted to remember to do every morning when you wake up, and then you could set an alarm and it would start the routine, and it would give you however much time you had set for that activity, and then it would like ding at the end of it, and then you could say, yes, I've completed it, and it would be like, good job, and it would encourage you to celebrate. So I used to have things like that. I don't use those anymore. So the things that I'm going to be talking about today, I have actually put together a little screenshot showing you the thumbnails of them. I'm not going to go too in-depth into any of them, but the first one that I've been using for a really long time is this meditation app called Stop, Breathe, and Think. I'll show you the main screen there, and it is a meditation app. It has a lot of meditations that come with it for free, and then there are some little meditation packs that you can purchase separately if you choose to do that. But basically, I like this one because it allows you to every day go and check in and tell it how you're feeling physically and how you're feeling emotionally and how you're feeling mentally, and then it curates a few meditations within its library that would be best for you at that moment based on how you're currently feeling. And then you can also check in afterwards to see how you've improved. And you can look back and see how meditation has helped you and how often you've done it. And you get little stickers as rewards for meditating at certain times or on certain days or so many days in a row, things like that. So I just think it's a really cool little thing, and I've been using that for a really long time. I do still really like that app. The second one I'm going to talk about is called Track Yoga. I have tried multiple different yoga apps over time, and I really ended up liking this one because it's very similar to a lot of keeping track of things apps and rewarding you for things apps, in that there are different lessons. Well, first of all, I should say this is why I really wanted this app for my yoga practice, is because what I was looking for was something that would lead me through a series of yoga poses, like lead me through a little lesson as though you were going to a class, rather than just something that was informational about the poses. I really wanted there to be something guiding me through. So this does that. It has little lessons for different types of things. There's a beginner's series, there's a more advanced series that you can work up to, and you can pay real money to unlock things, or there's a point system where every 10 minutes of yoga that you do within the app, it keeps track of how long the lessons are, and every 10 minutes you get points, and then you can use those points to unlock further things. So you never have to spend real money. It can be totally free. You just have to actually use it and do the work. These videos are not being sponsored by any of these apps, but it would be great if they were. The next two things that I have on this screen are just sort of representations of my app business related stuff. So I have the Patreon app, which of course is the app where I can post certain things to my Patreon account for people who pledge to sponsor my personal channel videos. So there's an app for that. It's not the best, it's not the most user-friendly app. I wish that they would include a little bit more. It's a lot easier to do it on the computer, but occasionally if I take a picture and I want to upload it to my Patreon right away, I will use that. So that's relevant to my path because that's relevant to the work that I do on YouTube. And then the next icon that I have up there is the Sell on Etsy app, because of course I also make and sell things as part of my practice and part of my path, and I sell those on Etsy. So there's that, and I also have the PayPal for Business app, which has really been helping me keep track of when people get card readings from me and stuff like that. So all of those things are related to my path through the business aspect. The next two things are pretty new, so if you've been following my personal channel, then you know that I've been doing a lot more with tarot lately. I am not the only tarot reader on this channel, of course, we have several others. And I've been reading oracle decks for years, specific decks that I have really worked with over the years, but I only recently, in the past couple of years, really decided to work on developing my knowledge of tarot as a system. I've always kind of done a little bit here and there throughout, the past decade or whatever, but it's only been recently that I've really gotten into a more serious study of the system of tarot. So I've been looking at a lot of different tarot apps, and like I said, I've tried a lot of different ones that I ended up deleting because I didn't like them, they weren't what I wanted, whatever. So the one that I ended up really liking so far is called Rider-Waite Tarot, which is one of the very traditional decks that we always think of with the very famous Pamela Coleman Smith artwork. You can do a lot of different spreads with this app. There's a lot of different categories for them that they take you through, but one of the features that I really like with this app is that it has this tarot reference section. So if you just want to remind yourself quickly of what any of the cards mean, there's this reference area where you can go through all of them and click on one and just get a little idea of what it means. And the other feature I really like from this app is that it has a card of the day. So every day I get a push notification up in my message bar on my phone saying, the card of the day is available after midnight. Touch to flip the card and find out what your card of the day is. Today is the Seven of Wands. If you're doing a little spread with it and you really want to keep it for some reason to look back at it later, you can save it, name it, whatever you want. So that's the only tarot app so far that I have found that has like the reference the way that I wanted it and just a pretty cool variety of little things to do. Another one that I found is called Easy Tarot, and it is a series of podcasted lessons about the tarot by professional tarot reader and teacher Dusty White, and including a lot of different episodes and classes, some of which are interviews with special guests, some of which are little discussions with his tarot students, so that talking about different things, and there's just a ton to go through, so I've only done 3 or 4 so far because they all tend to be very long as well. But when I have the time to sit down and study tarot, I like to maybe listen to one of the podcasts that's about something that I've been wondering about, so it's pretty cool. And it's all free. He does have a book that you can purchase, which he mentions all the time, but you can also just do the lessons for free. And there's a website also, easytarot.com, I think. You can look it up. One of the other things I really like to do is keep track of my dreams. And my favorite dream analysis, dream dictionary website for years has been dreammoods.com. So one day I was looking through the App Store and realized that Dream Moods has an app. So I installed the app immediately, and it just basically has this search section where you can type in things from your dream, and it'll come up with the little meaning of what it means, just like it does on the website. The only thing that's annoying is that if you type in something that isn't exactly how they have it in the dictionary, it's not smart enough to know what you're talking about. So it doesn't come up with like synonyms, or if you misspelled something, or if you made something plural but they only have the singular form in the dictionary, it's not smart enough to know that that's what you're looking for, so you have to type in different things. So if you can't find, I forget, and then it keeps a history of everything that you've searched for also. So I can see that I've searched for dance, for example. So I probably typed in dancing, and dancing was not there, so I had to type in dance to find what I wanted. But then there's talking. I had a dream about a llama a while ago, so llama's in there. Loud, quiet, dog, puppy, like you have to search those things separately. Roller coaster is 2 words. I think I was looking for eyeglasses, like glasses, spectacles, but I wasn't finding anything, so I ended up having to search eye. So things like that. That's the only thing that I don't like about this, is that you have to think of the other things that could be what's in the dictionary. It's not smart enough to know what you're talking about. And then the last thing, of course, probably all of you have seen this before, this is the Phase of the Moon app. It's also a website. I believe it used to be like the moon phase calculator from calculatorcat.com. I don't know if that's still what it is, but that's one of the first apps I think that I downloaded when I got this phone, because I'm always paying attention to the moon phases. I like the fact that you can scroll through and see when the next date is that you're gonna come upon this moon phase, and it tells you what sign the moon is in at that point. So if you're someone who's looking at it for astrology purposes, you can look up someone's birthday, you can go in the past or in the future, you can use the calendar function to type in any date. I didn't show this before, but you can use the calendar function to type in any date. Let's just take this back to 1920. So if that happens to be the birthday of someone you know, their moon is in Cancer. I've looked at some herbalism apps, I've looked at some crystal apps, but I haven't found anything that I like and that I like the look of and that I like the content of. So I've looked at those things that are like Wicca calendar, Paganism 101, pagan calendar. None of them appeal to me. None of them seem really worth it, seem interesting enough, useful enough, I don't know. But I'm always looking through apps to see what they're like, and if I come across anything really cool, then I'll keep it. I think I've seen some pretty cool rune-based apps, but I don't use the runes that often yet, so I haven't felt called to download one of those. And yeah, like I said, I don't have any habit tracking apps right now like I did when I submitted this question a while ago. So the things that I use right now are the things you just saw, pretty much meditation-based stuff, yoga stuff, practical things for like tracking the moon phase, but also educational things like the tarot app, and things that help me enrich my practice like the yoga app, because then I can set it up and I know it'll take me through a little thing and I don't have to think about it. I just do what it says and there we go. And it also does have a reference for yoga poses if you do just want to look at what the pose is. But I don't like apps that are just based on that for yoga. I wanted the kind of class feel to it. So those are some of the apps that I currently have on my smartphone and that I use. Let me know if you use any of the same apps I do, and let me know if you have any other favorite ones that you like. You can just mention their name in the description, maybe a little bit of what it's for and why you like it, and if it's something that I might be interested in, I will look it up on the App Store. I do have an Android, so these are Android-based apps. Some of them might also be available for Apple products, but I don't know. But I also know that if you find apps that you really like that are for Apple products, they may not be available to Android users, so make sure to note that in the comments as well, so that if anyone else is interested in looking at the apps that you've mentioned, we know whether or not we might be able to get it. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time, and until then, don't forget to be awesome, blessed be, and goodbye.